Schtick Show.
How's it, everybody? We're the Joystick Show. Your three favorite friends from Hawaii are back to talk story about the latest things we've read, watched, and played. We'll share a shtick with you, so for mahalos for sticking around. If you fancy what you hear, please like and subscribe on the platform you frequent. It super helps us out for the algorithm and all that other jazz. But I'm your co-host, Drake. That's Thomas.
I'm back. What's up, everybody?
And that's Scott.
How's it? Welcome back, Tom.
Thanks.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
What theme song is that? I had it in my head, but I don't even know what that's from.
I don't remember. It's probably from a commercial or...
Welcome back. It's like a song, right? Anyways, I don't know.
We'll
what it's
think
from.
on it.
Well, since you're back, you have the honors of giving the index of what we're going to be talking about today, or I guess tonight.
Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Little Mermaid hit Disney Plus streaming. We're going to kind of briefly go into that. We got a new Aquaman trailer that's going to be dropping on Thursday, and we got a little bit of a teaser for it. We have Starfield news, The Deepest Breath, I want to say, Strays, and I'll quickly touch on Ahsoka Episode 4 and Pinball, The Man Who Saved It. So, action packed tonight.
Packed with action?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Okay, well, why don't we... The Little Mermaid's an old thing. Because it's happened such a long time ago, and then they redid it, and now they put it back on a Disney Plus, and it reached 16 million views in the first 5 days, according to whatever data is coming through Disney Plus, according to IGN.
Did you say 16 million or 60 million?
16, which is still quite a lot of individuals watching a movie that has already been watched ad nauseum when it was animated, and again because of Halle Berry.
Haley. Hallelujah.
And we, Scott, you've watched it the most recently out of all of us, and you said that you felt ways about it, both positive and negative. Could you elaborate on those things for our viewership?
Yeah. I think overall the movie was okay.
What?
I think what?
That's messed up, man.
No, it was 16 million views good, guys. Check it out right now. Stop the spot and go watch. No, it was okay. They hit most of the marks that the cartoon did. I think there's just a couple things that bothered me when watching.
Mm-hmm.
One huge one was...
what bothered it?
Well, just I'll tell you what bothered it. I was like, I don't really got a problem with the movie's like, no, it bothers me. Scuttle talking underwater. I was like...
Birds can talk underwater, Scott, okay?
Yeah, but it's weird. It's like they're going realistic. So like when you see realistic fish, like I want to see flounder as flounder, but then they give me a realistic flounder. I'm like, cool, he breathes water. And then Scuttle comes down. He's like, what's up? And I'm like, how are you doing this? Are you breathing underwater? Like, what's happening? So I was like,
could Scuttle
it's weird.
do
It's
that
like
in the cartoon? I don't remember him doing that in the cartoon.
I don't remember. Maybe he did.
I don't think he
did.
dove into the water. No.
They had conversations up above.
Yeah.
But he didn't come down.
Okay, yeah.
So, I don't.
So weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Sorry, I think you were on a good point, which was,
it's like
they're going more realistic, and then all of a sudden you do something like that. And it's like, wait, are you trying to be more realistic, or are you trying to be so non-realistic? I don't know what we're doing here, right? Is that kind of what you were trying to say?
Yeah, exactly. But then at the same time, then you think you're like, I'm like watching a movie about a mermaid that's friends with fish, and like, there's her dad. I don't know if you guys watched the newest Pirates of the Caribbean, but I always have this in my head where he's another character where his hair's floating, and then me and my sister always go Jack Sparrow because he just sounds hilarious when he says Jack Sparrow. So anytime I saw him, that's what I was hearing in my head. But it's like it's obviously like a make believe film, but then they're trying to go realistic, and it's just that juggling. And then
it's like pick a lane though. Like, are you trying to be really realistic here, or are you trying to be so not realistic? Like, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah,
because you're making my mind do this gymnastics.
Putting their birds underwater, and it's like not going to be good. So,
right.
And
drowning birds.
The other thing was towards the end of the film. It's not a spoiler because it happened already animated. there's a part where Ursula becomes giant Ursula, Power Ranger size villain Ursula, and there's like that whirlpool, and instead of Ariel being in the middle on this piece of land, it was Eric, and then Ariel drives the ship into Ursula, which to me didn't really make sense because I don't know why Ursula would even care about Eric. So like, why would her attention be on this dude and not paying attention to Ariel, who she wants to destroy? So like, and I don't know how Ariel knows how to drive a ship. So like,
right.
There was like a bunch of stuff. I'm like, what?
There was no prelude before where she was underwater with a big wheel,
like practicing.
She didn't even know how to drive the chariot, so how could she drive a ship?
Yeah. And I'm all about her saving the day. I was just like, again, I'm like, that doesn't really make sense though. Like
for this story,
arranged,
like,
yeah. Oh, and then one other thing, when she saves Eric from the ship in the beginning, she brings him up knowing he needs air, right? But if you watch that scene again, every time a wave comes, he goes underwater. So he's just like passed out, and she brings him up, and then he's just like submerged. Like, dude, this motherfucker's dying, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it was so funny.
Mermaid CPR is different from human CPR.
Yeah, so. I'm surprised he made it to the beach. But yeah, that part was just hilarious. It didn't really bother me.
Are you trying to save him, or are you trying to torture him? Because it looks like you're just trying to
waterboarding him.
You're waterboarding with the ocean. He's like, "There's hope. There's no hope."
Drake, I heard you loved this movie so much. Hear the sarcasm in my voice, audience. What was your deal with it?
For me, I like what. It seems as if there's a lot of like trying to bring in the current world into these Disney movies, updating them in sorts of ways, which I guess is fantastic in a sort of way, making it live action so we get to see kind of how far technology has come, and we can see actors and actresses actually in it versus just the animations, which are slightly antiquated in terms of our animation standards now. A big question is when you're going into a theater, when you do go to theaters, are you wanting to have the outside world be in the theater? Because you're going specifically into a dark box with great surround sound and a huge, essentially, television screen to kind of get away from the outside. I think that's why theaters are such an appeal. You're kind of in this little environment. And secondly, to stay congruent with the, LMM haters group, is can a Disney movie now be successful without a Lin-Manuel Miranda song situation? Because granted, there's a lot of cool things that, hip new things that are being updated, but when you're watching classics, the expectation of hearing classic. When I watched Mulan and there was no Mulan songs, like, why am I watching this? I could watch any kung fu movie and pretend that it was that. So those were my two grubs with it. But at the same point in time, I get the moving forward. I get that we're seeing a lot more diversity, and that's fantastic. But in terms of nostalgia, in terms of keeping with the IP, let's find a balance. If we could.
Yeah, as somebody who's not even a Lin-Manuel hater, stop it, okay? Sometimes we just don't need like a rap song, not like a rap song, but like a Lin-Manuel rap song in a movie, right. Let's chill out on the Lin-Manuel. Like, he must have the best contract in all of like Disneywood. I don't know, he's got that locked down. They're like, we need 2 songs in every Disney movie. I don't know.
Well, when did Disney stop taking popular artists and bringing them into the fold? For example, like NSYNC, Christina Aguilera. Like, they've had these, and granted they were kind of a part of Disney as a whole, but when did they start taking these like mainstream artists and helping them vocalize in a Disney song? That was kind of cool, right? When you were like, oh man, this is this artist that I do like in this Disney movie that I do like. I get it, but there's some things that if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of a situation.
Yeah.
But
what did it really well this year was like Barbie. Barbie had all the top artists on that soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good soundtrack.
It was good.
Yeah, Nicki Minaj, Dua Lipa, Sam Smith, I think, was on there. I mean, like, they had all the big hitters on there. And I'm trying to think of, Marvel used to do that really well too, because I remember the Black Panther 1 album was all produced by Kendrick Lamar, and that was fantastic.
fire.
Yeah, and then, I think one of the best soundtracks for any movie this year is Across the Spider-Verse. Because Metro Boomin did all of those songs. So you're right. Like, I don't know. But you're right. I also, going back to it, like, you should have the classic songs. And I haven't watched the new Little Mermaid yet. I'm assuming they did have a lot of those classic songs. But it sounds like they tried to throw in some new ones as well, right?
Yeah.
And
what's her name? Haley Bailey?
Let's just go with that. Yeah.
But whatever. I'm so bad at it. But she crushed it on her songs. She can sing.
Yeah.
So she was a great area. Yeah,
she's really amazing. She's like a babe
super
too.
good.
Her and her sister do like was it duos together? They're like a duo singing group. Yeah, they're both real good.
They're real good.
They're also on I want to say it was Blackish or Grownish.
Oh, nice.
In the beginning episode.
So, yeah, that show's great.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice. All right, staying aquatic, we got a new trailer for Aquaman coming out this Thursday. We got to see I guess, teaser trailer for it.
Yeah, it's like a teaser to the trailer.
Do you guys feel teased by it?
I do.
Yeah? Is it tickling you a little bit? Are you like, you ready to watch?
Tentacle tickling me.
Yeah.
It is.
You tried it?
Yeah.
Hentai style.
Yeah.
You know it. I don't know how you guys feel about the first one, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was action-packed. It had all the things that I wanted to see. It included like a bunch of underwater animals. He's like riding like 2 or 3 of them or something, like, just like cool. He's talking to fish. He's being really strong and fast underwater and stuff. Yeah. I also like the Meg too, so maybe it's like I like underwater things. But
sensing a theme.
And I'm going to talk about The Deepest Breath later. It's an underwater documentary. But it looked cool. Like, it looks like it's crazy action packed. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I don't know how everyone else is going to feel about it, but I'm psyched for it.
Yeah. Did you watch Blue Beetle? I can't remember.
Yeah.
You did, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you watch Blue Beetle, Drake?
Not yet.
So are you going to see Aquaman?
Are you saying?
Are you
going to see Aquaman then?
I might see Aquaman.
Did you see The Flash?
I didn't see The Flash.
Yeah, you ain't seeing Aquaman, bro.
Oh my god,
you're not seeing Aquaman.
I only want to see that neon blue seahorse that Aquaman was riding in that teaser to the trailer.
That was cool, though.
That's right.
That was cool.
Yeah, he's riding a seahorse, which I don't know. Was the seahorse a male or female? Because the males typically hold the babies, so I don't know how I feel about a pregnant male seahorse being ridden by Aquaman.
It worked out for Jessica Jones in Across the Spider-Verse. She kicked ass on that motorcycle, so anything's possible. Yeah, it looks great. I'm on board, and I feel like out of anybody, I can stand by that I'm excited for it because I saw Shazam! Fury of the Gods in the theaters. I saw Blue Beetle in theaters. I saw The Flash in theaters. And of course, I'm going to see this too, but I have no faith in it now. After Blue Beetle like bombed so hard. I mean, luckily it's going to make more than The Flash, which is still kind of sad to even say out loud, but I just don't know, man. I don't know who's going to go see this movie.
Oh, are we talking like if it's going to do well like in the box office?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to enjoy it.
I'm gonna enjoy it.
Sure I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Like exactly. Like I'm gonna go see it. But I don't know if anybody else is.
Especially like if you're invested in the whole superhero movie type of thing, and you know it's not gonna be connected to the next phase, then like that could already have those people checked out. Superhero fatigue, that could have people checked out, and then hearing the Flash, like they just kind of connected all like, oh, that guy did what? I'm against DC. Like there's just so many different reasons why people wouldn't watch this movie. But all the Jason Momoa fans will watch it. So
true.
There's that too.
And
we'll see what kind of fan base he can bring in.
Yeah. The last movie made $1 billion. Like, I don't think this touches
I don't know if he's gonna make
close. Like, imagine there's a world where the first movie makes $1 billion and then this movie only makes $150 million. Like an 850 million drop off from 1 to 2. That would be insane. I don't think it's going to be that bad, but it is. Nothing would surprise me this year. Yeah, but
I mean, I could see that because the first one, right? It was like leading up to like it's like watching a Marvel movie before Endgame. You're like, oh, this is going somewhere, and then watching one now, it's like they're not making.
This is going nowhere fast.
Yeah,
Is
you're
it
like
part of the James Gunn DC verse now, or
what was that?
is Aquaman still? Is Jason Momoa still part of the James Gunn DC verse?
He's the DC Universe head. Yeah, but he had nothing to do with this movie. He had nothing to do with The Flash. He had nothing to do with Blue Beetle. The only thing we know is that Blue Beetle's carrying over. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can barely hear you, Drake.
Yeah, it's very hard to hear you, Drake. Don't know what you said.
Is Jason Momoa still part of the new universe?
Is Jason Momoa still going to be a part of the universe, or
we don't know? As far as I know, there has not been any confirmation about.
Yeah, keep Jason Momoa at least, bro.
We'll see. Maybe they go with a more comic book accurate Aquaman. You know, I don't know. That was a Zack Snyder decision to bring him on. I think Gal Gadot too. So all of those things, who knows? It's a new regime, new regard. I mean, Henry Cavill was very much there. We know we're getting David Cornsweet. So who knows? The only thing that's been confirmed is that Zolomar Dueña from Blue Beetle is moving on. His Blue Beetle. So I don't know. One character that we know we are getting back though is Black Manta. Orn, what is it? Sea Master? Ocean Master? Ocean Master, yeah, is coming back as well. Looks pretty dope. There's some kind of like mechanic octopus thing that looks, I mean, it looks like all the hype.
Doc Ock. Oh.
What is it? Ock?
You say Ock?
Doc Ock.
Oh, Doc Ock.
Yep. That's not happening. But
where's Peter?
Yeah,
like,
so I'm on board. It's like, I was so hyped for Blue Beetle. I was like, no, you know what? This movie's gonna surprise people. And I still thought the movie was really good, but nobody went to see it. I just don't know what's gonna happen with this one, and it's so hard to be excited for something you don't know if it's gonna be a movement. Like even a dribble of what we got from Barbie or Oppenheimer would be great. And I don't even know if it makes a ripple, but it doesn't move. We're not getting waves, you know what I mean? We're not getting double overhead sets here.
Also, the actors can't really promote it. So, like, there's no fun promotions from Jason Momoa or anything, you know?
Yeah.
So, that could hurt it as well.
Yeah. We will see. Something that is making gigantic waves, and it is launching into another stratosphere. We have Starfield passes 6 million users. None of us have Xboxes, so none of us, I believe, have played this. Does this make you want to get an Xbox?
I mean,
your face
I'm not going to use money to.
Whatever
I'm not going to buy an Xbox.
Yes.
Whatever your words were going to be, your face was automatically saying no.
That's like a $500 commitment just to play the game. Like, why did they?
Hey, it's a fair question.
Make you buy a system.
This was supposed to
why did they just make it for PS5 too, bro?
Well, this was supposed to be this generation's Halo. Right, and Halo, we never got Halo on PlayStation. And how many people moved to Xbox because of Halo? And then
to be fair, there's a lot of PS exclusives too that Xbox don't get.
That's
true.
We just happen to have the PlayStation one. So
especially Bethesda though. When you're talking about a huge Bethesda game, when you've seen what they've been able to do with like Skyrim, they've cross-platformed Skyrim all across the way. Why not Starfield? Maybe later in the future, but I'm not going to pay $500 to play.
I know. Well, a lot of people have
Starfield,
PCs now too, you know?
That's true. Yeah.
And I mean, this is what the Xbox was fighting for this to be an Xbox exclusive because PlayStation has so many PlayStation exclusives. Yeah. So it made sense. I'll be honest. I've watched a lot of reviews on it. There are a lot of elements of this game that look really cool, but it doesn't, for me, make me want to go out and buy an Xbox to just play this game. Like, it looks cool. Yeah. It's funny. We got space theme. We're always rocking stars behind us. I could give two shits about going into space. I do not.
It's big. There's a lot of stuff going on.
And even the whole idea of traveling between different planets, it sounds amazing. But I've seen a lot of things of the actual jumping in your ship to then fly to a different planet can be clunky at times, and it's not as fluid as you'd want it to be. It's not smooth either. So that really does kind of throw me off and not make me want to jump like I don't know, and
right
at
away.
the end of the day, yeah, it's like it looks awesome to some degree, but it's like we play a lot of first person shooters. Like I don't see anything in this that's like so amazing that I need to like run out to the store and buy it right now. And that's just personally me.
Right.
But I don't know if you guys have the same thoughts on it.
Are you buying an Xbox, Scott?
I just bought one.
Oh.
No, I'm not gonna buy one. This game does look really cool. I'm not gonna buy an Xbox for this game, but if it ever came over to the PlayStation, I'm not against trying it out. It looks fun. I like a good exploratory game, especially one you can play with your friends and whatnot. It seems cool. It looks good. If I had an Xbox, I'd probably get it, but I'm not gonna get one for this game personally.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Starfield.
Yeah. Wait, it just Starfield's for individuals with indispensable income if you don't have an Xbox. Like, we're adults. We have like bills and stuff. I can't just spend $500 to play a game that's going to take me time away from me to be able to pay my bills and live my life. I don't know.
No, but but to be fair, a lot of people nowadays do have like their system and a computer. So like
That's true.
they'll just get it on the computer.
I mean, this game is selling extremely well. You were just talking about how you just got Baldur's Gate, right? And that to me, how many hours does it take to beat that game? Or it's something ridiculous, right? Like 300 hours.
Yeah, it's like ridiculous amount of hours.
Right. And
I don't have the
game's
number
selling
right now,
well too. So
yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's for a very particular person, I guess. And it maybe it's not. It just like if you have an Xbox, I don't see why you wouldn't get this game.
Yeah.
But it's not going to convert me to a sale of an Xbox just to get this.
Yeah.
Like I haven't watched anything that would change my mind. I've watched the IGN reviews. I watched the Game Ranks reviews. I've watched Kind of Funny podcasts talk about it. It looks cool. It really does. But it's not like, holy shit, that's mind-blowingly awesome for me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely seems like you need a lot of hours to put into it, though. It's not like a casual.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it could be, but if you're trying to play along with other people, you're probably playing with a lot of other like hardcore, like I'm getting off of work, playing this all night for the next month. Sort of crowd, So
I'm gonna neglect my wife and kids, and I'm not gonna eat, and I'm gonna drink Mountain Dew. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with that? No.
Nothing.
Nothing wrong.
That's a
Go buy
life
an
choice.
Xbox, you
I
like that.
support it. Yeah.
Okay.
You like Xboxes?
We just don't have an Xbox. Nothing against Xbox.
I'm really stoked for like if anybody's listening and does have an Xbox and plays, like let us know what you think. And if you're like you guys are crazy, you should go get an Xbox just to play this. Like tell me why, show me the evidence, write in the reviews, send us an email, comment on social media, blah blah blah. And yeah, try to hook me because if it's worth it and you can convince me, I'll go do it. But yeah, as of right now, that's not the case.
Boom.
Yeah.
Something that you guys have both watched, we're getting Attack on Titan's final episode, and the air date for the final episode leaked to November 4th. Are you guys excited about this episode? And have you been watching or are you gonna watch this last season of Attack on Titan?
I think, Scott and I had a short kind of conversation, I believe, before a podcast like weeks ago. But like, it's one of those things where there's a point in time where you're kind of like, okay, what now? When you're watching certain things. So for me, watching it, it's like, okay, Eren turned all the Titans up.
Whoa, spoiler alert.
Oops. And he's trying to do some things that you wouldn't think he's trying to do.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, what now? Like, worst case scenario is this.
Well, you can
best case
talk
scenario
spoilers
is
now.
this.
I gave the
I might as well.
the alerts out.
So like Aaron's like one of two things is like, okay, so he realizes what he's doing and he's trying to harmonize the world, and or he's trying to destroy it and make it all for the Titans. And so for me, I'm like, okay, what is going to entice me to continue to watch it? There's not necessarily cliffhangers. Maybe there's more to see in terms of Eren and Mikasa. Mikasa's her name, right?
Yeah. Mikasa Asuka,
and,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And like Levi maybe doing a little bit more aggressive fighting and things of such. But I'll I'll end up watching it for sure, but I don't know that I'm gonna like stop what I'm doing, sit down, grab popcorn, and like ready my body and my mind and my soul. You know.
God, I want to know what movie or show will for you.
I'll think about it.
A lot of things are like not cutting the bar.
Yeah.
What is it, Scott? He needs
No,
subtitles.
I said nothing with subtitles. You try and eat and watch subtitles. It's like
Impossible.
hard to do. Yeah, you take a break to eat and then you go back to watching anime. But I stopped watching at a certain point when they're getting to the final season, where they're like put out an episode or two and then they take a long break and an episode or two and a long break. I'm like, I'm just gonna wait till this comes out and then watch from where I left off to the ending. So I'll definitely watch it. But yeah, I mean, I've invested this much and the stakes are like crazy high. Yeah, it's either gonna be like a really positive ending or a really like sad, depressing ending. So in Drake's regard, like you can kind of see both endings in your head. So no real super rush to watch it, but I'll definitely watch it. Like the art's always amazing. And yeah, I kind of want to see how it ends. So
well, this is like a French tilt, and like this is how Pokemon started.
aliens.
Whoa.
Pokemon, yeah.
That'd be amazing. There is a new Pokemon too, which I do want to watch, but yeah, I don't know. I tried to get into it. You guys know I've given it a shot. I just couldn't do all the screaming and crying and all that over and over and over again. But hey, you know, I hope it's worth it for all of you out there enjoying it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some reviews. And yeah, I'll quickly just touch on some things while I was out. Two things. One Piece live action delivered. I was so impressed by how good that show was. The acting was phenomenal. The CGI was great. The story really moved. It was one of the most binge-worthy things I think I'm not a really big person into binging. So when there's a show where I do want to binge, it's like I'm hooked and I'm amazed by that. And this was one of those shows for me this year. All of what you guys said, I think you guys crushed it on your review for One Piece. So I don't need to get into it anymore. But man, it's definitely fighting for that top 3 spot for me for like best show or like top 3 shows of the year. So when we do our year-end review, like I wouldn't be surprised if it falls into that top 3 for me with the bear.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or I guess for both of you. Since you've now seen a successful anime be translated into a live action form, knowing that historically it hasn't been, does it change your expectations for things like live action Avatar or any other live action animation situation anime wise moving forward?
Yeah, definitely. I am convinced though that you can never do nothing in the next 10 years can you do a live action Dragon Ball.
Ooh.
That's where but I also think now you can 100% do a live action Pokemon. I mean, we've already seen Detective Pikachu. Yeah. Like, there's no reason why you can't do a live action Pokemon if you had the money to do the special effects.
Yeah.
So that for sure. I'm trying to think. Bleach is another one for me that I think would be hard. Like, I'm not saying they can't do it. CG. Yeah, but I think they would have an easier time doing Bleach than Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah. I know. I agree. Dragon Ball was always something like I can't even imagine how a good one would even look.
Right.
How'd you make it look
even
cool?
In my head, it's like, it's not good.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Like, even if I try to imagine it close to what, even of the same level of budget and special effects and everything for One Piece, I don't know how you do that. That's pretty untouchable for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Unless
could you
have a bajillion
see a live action Gundam Wing?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
They did Pacific Rim and stuff, but they just CG and all that little sharper stuff.
I'm actually, like as much as I do like the Pacific Rim movies, I'm kind of bummed it wasn't a live action Mobile Suit Gundam. You know, because Mobile Suit Gundam has so much history and like the mechs are iconic, and I'm like more bummed about that. But yeah, Mobile Suit for sure. Maybe
we will get it. You know, if the right script and team comes along and whatnot. That could
Yeah.
be really cool.
Yeah.
In regards to you saying Avatar in particular, I think the difference for me with this and with Avatar and the One Piece creator of One Piece, Oda, was like behind this all the way, was super positive about it the whole time, and is still like psyched about it. I heard the creators of Avatar kind of walked away from the Netflix project due to creative differences. So
Right.
that kind of worries me. I really do hope it's
That's a good
good,
point.
you know, but that does kind of worry me a bit.
Yeah. Good point.
Yeah.
I'm less worried about it than I am the M. Night Shyamalan one. Like I think
Yeah.
I think it's definitely
With a
better
twist.
than that. So I'm excited about it. The casting, at least for that, looks on par or like on point. So I think we're gonna be okay there. But One Piece is great. Okay, so the next thing was you guys got to talk about Ahsoka episode 4 last week. I'm just gonna say. Again, really great job. I'm not going to recap the episode because I think you guys did an amazing job of that. But there was definitely some things I noticed. One was the reveal of Marok. Everybody online was talking about, is it Galen Merrick? Is it Cal Kestis? Is it actually Ezra Bridger? I don't know why it would have been Ezra Bridger. Whoever said that is an idiot. But I
You hear that guy?
no, yeah, you hear that,
Or
buddy?
gal.
Or gal.
Talking to you, big guy. But no, I was thinking of. I liked who it was, and I think for a lot of people, they were like, "Oh, it was just like some steam. That's so dumb." But
Team Steam?
no, I think it was
Steam Man?
yes.
Really?
But I think it was great what they did because it really reminded me of Jedi Fallen Order.
Okay.
So when you go to Dothamir with Cal Kestis, at some point you have to go there and you have to like interact with some Night Sisters or blah, 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 whatever, because of the journey. You end up fighting these monsters who are brought back to life by the Night Sisters on Dathomir. And when you kill them, it looked like that. So I was like, oh shit, they're bringing in some lore from the games, or at least a visual style from the games into the show. And I thought that was really dope. And if we're talking about Morgan Elsbeth being a Night Sister, like, of course, we got to see it multiple times here where she's using Night Sister magic. He even comments, like, you guys are joking, like, last week, they were like, witchcraft, what is this? But even in Jedi Fallen Order, it still feels like witchcraft compared to the Force. Because that's why it's green, you know, when she's holding up the star map, that's that little circular golden ball, and it like shoots up in air. That's like Night Sister magic, and you can hear some of the old spirits actually in the audio if you listen close.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Creepy.
So it is really like the details have been on point with the show. I think this episode was by far one of the best episodes that we got from it. It was exciting the whole way through. There was something they foreshadowed in the beginning that really hit it. Like it just came to a massive point at the end of this episode where Ahsoka at the beginning tells Sabine, "Can I count on you?" And at the end, we see that no, she can't.
Yeah.
I love this conversation that's going around where everybody's like, did she make the right choice or did she make the wrong choice? Well, did she make the right choice? Obviously not. But if she made the right choice, the show's over.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sabine's dead. If she blew that star map up, like Balin would have just murdered her. So, so for her life, also, I know people are like, well, she like sacrificed the galaxy for one person for Ezra's life. Like, that's true. But if she didn't give him that thing fully intact, he would have murdered her ass. So I also think she made the right decision for her life as well. But yeah, so I don't know. All that was interesting. I really liked the lightsaber battles in this one. They were so badass. We got to see two Jedi at the top of their game. Whether it was Balin Skull, who just has such a God. Ray Stevenson was so damn good. It's so sad that we don't have him for anything else. I don't know what they do if his character survives at the end of this show. Like, I don't know what you do. Like, you recast him. Like, nobody's ever going to be that good, I don't feel like. So, tough. But Ahsoka we got to see multiple levels of Ahsoka fighting too, and multiple stance and training and everything. All that was really badass. And then last thing, we get the biggest reveal, I guess, at the end, where we get to see Anakin with Ahsoka. Now, do you guys kind of shared your thoughts on it? I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts since last week? Anything that's changed? Any?
Rainbow Road reminded. I think Scott brought it up. It looked like Rainbow Road. Made me think about Mario Kart.
Or Thor's that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, 100%. But yeah,
it's all interconnected.
It's all connected. But it was a sick transition, like what they did. I'm fairly convinced, and I can't take credit for this theory, but I am convinced that it's not Anakin. Some people have said it's Anakin right before he turned to Darth Vader and right before Order 66. I don't think that's what it is. In Star Wars: The Clone Wars, Ahsoka was imbued with the power of the sister, who embodies the light side of the Force, and then there was the brother who embodies the dark side of the Force, and then there was the father who is the balance. I think what she's seeing is the brother, like, disguising himself as Anakin, who is the dark side of the Force.
Interesting if they brought that back into the fold. Yeah, that would change things for sure.
Yeah, I mean that's we saw the Morai owl everywhere normally with Ahsoka in Clone Wars and in Rebels. We haven't seen it yet in this show, or did we? I can't remember. I thought we saw something like that, maybe not, but I feel like that should be popping up, and maybe they done it on purpose to make people forget about that. But I think that that's a perfect place to bring in that whole element of she's embodied the sister and the light side of the Force for so long. Why not bring the brother back in, who's the dark side of the Force, and tempting her as her old master?
That would be super exciting, especially for people who've watched Clone Wars and Rebels, to kind of have that come back to fold. I mean, they've been bringing in the video game lore, so it's a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Yeah, man.
Would be cooler too than to just have Anakin be like, "Hey, Ahsoka, what are you doing? Long time, bro. Remember that one time?"
Right.
Good times, man.
Yeah, dude. Sick,
what are you doing now?
Yeah, like what? You still hanging out at that one place?
When is this taking place, by the way? I remember thinking back to our conversation, and I was like, that was hilarious. We just dropping the ball. We're like, we got to where's this?
Yeah.
When is this?
It was late, guys. It was late. So, anyways, those are my thoughts on Ahsoka. It's fantastic. I can't wait to see what they do with it this week. Very shortly we'll get to find out. So we will see. Could be completely wrong. All right, we watched some other things. Scott, you were talking and hinting about your water obsession, and
I am obsessed,
deepest
and
breath.
deeply afraid of the deep waters. But there's this show this documentary on Netflix right now, called The Deepest Breath, as you just said, and it's produced by A24. So it's like shot beautifully, and it's really cool. Like, it's about free diving and like competitions, and it follows a particular free diver, and like how she like looks up to this other free diver who's been like a legend for years, and how she got with this guy who became a free diving spotter, who like started free diving, and from his near death experience was like, there needs to be a better way to help free divers when they're like running out of breath. So what happens sometimes is, like, in a competition, they'll have like a rope with a floater, and then they just like dive down. They hold, like, they kind of go along the rope. They're kind of tied to it, and they dive down as deep as you can or whatever. And then as you're coming up, a lot of times, like they say 99% of the times, like if you black out coming up, it's within like the last 10 meters. And you just like start like losing consciousness. And that's what it looks like. And then these spotters will grab you and like cut off the air, like, or so you're not inhaling water, and they'll bring you up and then make sure you can breathe and whatnot. So this guy becomes like the best at it, and like starts like teaching a bunch of people how to be like really good at it. And then it's about their relationship and whatnot, and it's just like, it's so interesting. Like, it's almost like when people didn't know about Formula One driving, and that documentary came out, and everyone's like, I love racing now. Like, I feel like this, like, I guess brought me like a whole new respect to people who dive. Like, it's crazy the way they talk about what it feels like to dive that deep. Like the main character they talk about, she sets a world record of 104 meters.
Isn't she from Hawaii?
That I don't know. Is she from
Oh,
Hawaii?
dang. I hope so.
What's her name?
I would assume.
Oh no, actually no, she's not from Hawaii. I'm thinking no, she's
not?
she's from Italy. Sorry.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
There might be a free diver now. Like as this thing's going on, they had like these people from Japan that were like beating records, and they were constantly like,
oh shit! It's like
towards the end of the film, she ends up getting to like 104 meters.
Oh,
but the way to describe it is like after 30 meters, like your air gets compressed in your lungs, and she said it feels like her lungs are the size of like 2 fists. And then while you're going down, it's like easier to swim down than it is to come back up. Like when you're going down, she says it feels like you're free falling, like you're just like flying through space, and it's like very meditative, and it's like so quiet. And then when you're coming back up, it's like a lot harder because you're fighting the pressure. It feels like you're swimming through a current, and like you don't realize you were using energy going down, so you're using like way more coming back up. And it was just, I guess, the pressure physically is something I never really thought about when people dive. You're just like, hold your breath, but like it's a whole nother thing to it. And the fact that they pass out, they'll like wake up unconscious, and then they'll wake up like, what happened? And they're like, oh, you passed out. They're like, fuck, again. And they'll wait a bit and they'll do it again. Like it's freaking ridiculous. But sad thing is like some people like die doing this, and it's freaking gnarly. Like it's really well done. It has like a narrative, and it follows like they're like you go through all the emotions in this. Like you're cheering, you're really sad, and all this stuff. It's really good. I definitely recommend it.
Nice.
Even if you're not one that's like ever thought about diving, like the way they shoot it, they get you involved and into the whole sport. It's really good.
So when the joystick does free diving?
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna do it. I'll watch it.
Oh,
I'll watch you do it.
My spotter?
Yeah, I'll be from the boat, just binoculars in the water.
Do binoculars work?
Yeah, I know.
Now, the water like that?
Yeah,
dude, I'm gonna try first, and then I don't know if it's gonna work.
I want to know.
That's how little I know about diving and the deep water.
Yeah, I have no idea.
And the Meg's just gonna come up and bite your head off, looking through binoculars.
So this was Alicia Zucchini?
Oh yeah, sorry. I have that.
Does that sound about right though? Alicia?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I think. And it was narrated by David Attenborough.
Ooh, David Attenborough,
bruh.
Yeah, he does
David Attenborough. He does the best shit. That's why. I mean, if you want anybody narrating your stuff, it's him or like Liev Schreiber.
Yeah.
Like that's great. That's cool, man. I will check it out. I know that did they mention there's like this society, I want to say in the Philippines, but it's like a like a fishing based society. And like this certain people have developed like yeah, I think it's like pearls, but also like fishing and stuff. And their lungs are like 30% larger than like a normal person.
Yeah, I've seen that. They don't talk about that in this documentary. They never even highlighted anyone from there or whatnot. There could very well be like someone from there doing it, because these guys, it seems like on average they're holding their breath for like 2.5 minutes.
Okay, so these people are the best divers in the world, right? Yeah. And Kate Winslet was bragging that on while they were filming Avatar: The Way of Water, she held her breath for 7 minutes. Do you believe it?
Well, I don't know how deep she was too. Like, I think the pressure has a lot to do with it. This one person, like, she's held records in like, they do like pool dives too, where they just go like as long as you can, like how many meters you can swim.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I think she can swim further that way than she can go down and then come back up.
Right, that makes sense.
Just because of the pressure alone. But
pressure.
I think like 100 meters is like, they said like it's like swimming the length of the Statue of Liberty and then swimming it back to come back. Like,
yuck!
I can't even do that sideways.
Yeah, I don't think
I can't do that on top of the water. That sounds hard.
It's insane, man. Like,
it's crazy. All right, that deepest breath. I gotta check that out.
Yeah, definitely check it out. It's really
Don't hold your breath. Or I guess you have to if you watch it.
Yeah.
Do you?
You don't have to.
Oh,
but
you
if
don't?
you want to make a game out of it, you can. There's no rules.
No. Drake, you have to.
Okay.
The whole movie.
Right on, man. That sounds awesome. Something I watched recently that was kind of like a biopic ish. It has like documentary elements in it, even though a lot of the story parts are fictional. But it's like a fictionalized retelling of like real life events. Was Pinball and the Man Who Saved It. If you haven't watched it, it is such like, it has like what you were saying. It has suspense. It has like cheering. It has like sad moments. It has like, but it really makes you feel good at the end. And it's such a crazy story about pinball and like the pinball we know today. Because in a lot of places, it was illegal at one point.
Where?
Because they considered it gambling. In fact, I think it was the governor of New York. You guys have heard of LaGuardia Airport?
Yeah.
That was named after one of the governors. And one of his biggest policies was making pinball illegal, saying that it was a way to trick kids into taking their money.
Yeah, they thought it was a rigged game, right?
A rigged
That's not
game.
Gambling, though, is it?
Yeah. And he was, you got to watch it. But they were able to prove it's more of a game of skill than of chance. And anything based around chance as opposed to skill is how they, I guess, one of the factors in determining gambling. I don't know. But man, you should watch it.
That sounds good.
It's so good, man.
Nice.
The main actor is funny because he has the worst mustache of all times. One critique I could say, or criticism I could say about the movie is like his mustache looks fake the whole damn time, but that's what the real life guy looked like. So it's like you kind of got to let it pass. But
did the real life guy look like he had a fake mustache?
Sort of, because they show him back in the day.
Yeah,
because it all takes place it all culminates in this trial that was like legitimately in front of like New York politicians or whatever, and they brought pinball machines into the court.
Wow.
So yeah, and there's like a picture from it, like a real life picture, and it kind of does look like the guy.
Wow.
Plus,
Sweet.
like he starts dating this like single mom, and she looks like she's like 23, but she's like 30, and she looks real good. So
okay, I'm
she's
in.
30 in real life, playing a 23.
I think she's older than 30 in real life, but she was like 30, and I was like, like they're having this girl play like she's 30, and I looked it up. I'm like, I think she's gonna be actually almost 40 or something. I don't know. She looks amazing though. I had it pulled up.
She plays young.
Her name is Crystal Reed. Yeah, the main actor is Mike Faced. Mike. No. Mike Faced. Is that right? Was it Roger?
Mike Face?
No. Mike Faced is the actor's name. And you're going to be seeing him in a lot. He's in that new movie coming up with Zendaya where he's like making out with her and stuff. And it looks like she's doing
she's
the
mom? Oh, yeah.
Challengers. It's called Challengers. Coming out soon. That movie looks phenomenal, by the way. But Mike Face is in everything lately. And I was like, man, why'd they pick this super dorky guy? But phenomenal actor. And he's the lead actor in this movie, Pinball. So, yeah, check it out.
The lady you were talking about, she was in Gotham. I remember her from Gotham.
Oh, was she? Yeah.
She was like Falcone's daughter or something.
Oh, bro. Crystal Reed. Smoke show. But you guys should check that movie out because it's really a feel-good movie. If you're not following us on all the social medias, we post this thing about like the 3 feel-good movies of the year, and this is one of them. So yeah, definitely check that out. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, Drake, talk to us about Strays.
Do we all watch Strays, right?
I didn't watch Strays. I watched the trailer for it.
Scott and I watched Strays.
Yeah, we watched.
If you've watched Homeward Bound, if you've watched Homeward Bound,
Homeward Bound.
so, yeah, after eating some Taco Bell.
I wish I was at home for a lot of these browns I did.
If you watch Homeward Bound, you get those vibes. It's definitely a lot darker, and the voice actors are a lot more comedic based. Jimmy Fox and Will Ferrell and Randall Park and who's that one person? Anyway, it was a fun movie. I think it's not going to break the bank. I think it's not going to change the way you think about, animals in movies, but it was interesting on how kind of it brought to the front, like how individuals can be abusive towards animals, in how animals kind of don't really see that per se. Or you might not realize if you're being kind of a dick to an animal, you may not realize how that animal could take it. It definitely empathizes, I think, on the animal's part.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, like Guardians of the Galaxy, like you don't think just because you're not necessarily familiar or you separate them from human beings, but at the same point in time, what they bring to the table and the possibility of them having their own thought processes and stuff like that. You don't, if you're not thinking about that, you can't really empathize with the animals. But it was a fun journey. I think there was a lot of callbacks. The voice acting was great. The animation for the mouths wasn't too bad. Just because in Homeward Bound it was more like telepathic communication. The action was really good. However they trained these animals was fantastic. If that was the case, I don't know that there was a lot of CG happening. So all the practical training was like kind of crazy what they were able to accomplish in this situation. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Scott, did you have a different take on it?
Yeah, I'd say the first part of the movie, like the first half of the movie, like I was like, it's all right. Like I felt like a lot of the jokes were, I don't know. I felt like the joke was really heavy on what if Homeward Bound said like the F word all the time.
Yeah.
It was just like a lot of that, or like just like really like first joke you could think of kind of jokes. Over, I don't know. I mean, like it wasn't that bad, but I was like, it wasn't as creative as like later in the second half of the movie. There were some jokes in there that I was laughing. I was like, oh fuck, that's funny. And I was like, okay, good. Like I'm not crazy because like the first half I wasn't enjoying as much as this part. So I think overall though, it was a fun movie. I feel like it's for a very niche audience. Like you got these dogs that are like, if they just made it like even PG-13, I think they'd have a wider audience. They lean so hard into like just this hard art where you're like, I can't imagine a lot of adults going, yes. Like I remember Homeward Bound. I get to watch it again, but like in a ridiculous sense. I don't know. It felt like someone got really high and wrote this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just for adults. Like don't watch this with your kids. If you do, put it on mute. Even then, there's parts that are physically like, but
like physically, because I haven't seen it. So is it because like the dogs are doing things, or is it like people doing things to the dogs? Like where is it? I mean, where
there's definitely parts where like so throughout the movie they're hinting at Randall Park plays Hunter, and he's like this big dog with the cone, and like the whole movie is like how he's got a big dick.
Yeah,
and then that's the only thing he got going for him. He needs to man up. It's like, you got the big dick, you need the energy now. And they kept kind of hinting at that. And then there's parts where they play with shadow. Like there's literally a part where they're like in that part was kind of hilarious. They're in the jail. Funny. The pound gets them. Spoiler alert. The pound gets them, and they're like they're like, if we could get the keys off the wall, we could get out of here. I don't know how dogs would use keys, but that's their thing, right? And they're like, the big Randall Park's like, I got it. And he stands up, and then they're like trying to arouse him by saying like verbal stuff, and he's like, and then you see the shadow of this growing penis, and then there's a part of you like, are they gonna go so cartoonist, like where this penis is gonna reach the keys, the wall? And then of course, and then it doesn't. He's like, you tried, man. And then like I think what really made it funny is later something emotional happens, and then out of nowhere he's like, I really thought my dick would reach those keys. so stupid.
Do you remember Puss in Boots?
Yeah.
And the most recent one where and then there was Guillermo was playing the Chihuahua.
Yeah.
And so when there was another Chihuahua figure in this movie closer towards the end, and that was Josh Gad's voice. And I don't know if that was a coincidence that they kind of took other like kind of dogs from other places and kind of implanted them in. It's definitely not a cartoony Chihuahua, but it was interesting. That there was a similarity. I mean, they had a running joke with Dennis Quaid,
which was weird.
Which is very weird, like super random. Isla Fisher was Maggie, which is a border collie.
What was the Dennis Quaid running joke?
They were bird watching, and Dennis Quaid sees a bird that kind of goes in part with the rest of the dog gang. And then he looks at a list of after he names the bird, and then there's a bunch of checkboxes, and next to the checkboxes, instead of the names of the bird, it just says bird. And
he's like, oh, I've
he
been looking
checks
for
it
that
off.
one. And he opens it and it's just bird, 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 bird. And he checks off the empty space that says bird. He's like, yes. And he closes the book.
Yeah, it's just like, what? Like,
basically
it's some
right.
random shit.
And then and then you're wondering, like, he even references his name. He's like, it's the craziest thing Dennis Quaid has ever seen, and I should know because I'm Dennis Quaid, or something like that. And then you're like,
wait, what?
It's not big. And then you're like, why are you even in this movie? Like,
I know. I was just looking at the cast list. I was like, Dennis Quaid. I was like, is he a dog or is he just like?
It was such a weird small part.
Yeah.
One of the most predictable moments, I think, was when they ate the mushrooms and they started getting super high and they started playing, and then you could kind of see where it was going, but it was still kind of funny at the end of it.
Yeah.
I think that's something that you want to watch and kind of experience for yourself.
Okay.
But that was kind of hilarious. Like they go far. They take it as far as they can go, and they just go there. So everything that's pimp, they do, which is nice because it's fulfilling, right? They do all the things they say they're gonna do. There was one point where Will Forte plays his character super well.
Yeah, he's great. He's always great.
There was a moment where he picked something up towards the end of the movie, and you're like, "Oh shit! Is Will Forte really that serious about what he's trying to do?" Like at that moment, I was like, "Oh shit! This is getting real."
Yeah, like how dark are they gonna go? How much are they gonna show?
Yeah. I got scared.
But then it gets super comedic.
Super ridiculous.
It's pretty great. Yeah. You watch it, you see. If you like something that this movie's so silly, don't take it serious. Like, try and enjoy it. And I think that in the beginning, I was a little thrown off. First, I thought it was Troy Baker doing the voice for Bug, but it was Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah, Jamie Foxx. Yeah.
Troy Baker's a comedian. He does a lot of like funny voiceover things, especially for animal stuff on Instagram, and he does a great job. And it sounded like Jamie Foxx was doing a Troy Baker in a way, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yes, I was like, okay, cool, Jamie Foxx. But Will Ferrell in the beginning was a very Will Ferrell, and it seemed like some of that was predictable. Like some of the lines they had him saying, and I'm like, it had me thinking like, oh man, like, I like Will Ferrell, but is it just not working anymore? But then later in the movie, I think it was like the writing, because later in the movie, I'm like, that's not the case. Like it was when the scene was funnier, it all worked. So that could have been my like little thing in the beginning. Brett Gelman is in this as well. He did a great job. He was the dude working at the Pound. He's the dude in Stranger Things, the crazy guy that has the plane or whatever. Like it's a really small part, but he just brings him to it, and it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I think as soon as he gets introduced, the movie like took like a nice turn for me. Like it was great.
Yeah, when Rob Riggle came in, that's kind of when it.
Rob Riggle, yeah. His
that was pretty hilarious.
As Rolf, it was great. But overall, it's silly, fun movie.
Right on.
Yeah, it was only like an hour. 15 hour half. Yeah, it's not a huge commitment. So, I mean, you got some time to kill. You want to laugh a little bit, go on an adventure, see some dogs. I mean, if you enjoy dogs, like, you're going to love it. So,
yeah, they're all adorable.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that sounds awesome. You guys sold me on it. Just like the little things that you couldn't talk about. And the cast is incredible. I'm on board. Even for the trailers, I thought the trailers looked great. I just haven't gotten around to watch it, but Strays. All right, let's do this.
Yeah, do this. Yeah, some of the parts that I remember now are pretty funny in retrospect.
Right on. Man, I feel like Randall Park and Will Forte kind of play similar roles, so it's nice that they're in the same movie. I want them to do something together.
Yeah, okay.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be great. And I know what you're saying too about Will Ferrell. Because like even in the Barbie movie for me, a little bit, I'm like, is
Lego.
Yeah, I'm like, is it good or is he like not? Is it not working anymore? Is he always gonna play this big boss, who's like crazy, who gets crazy kind of role? I don't know, but yeah. All right, we'll have to check it out. That was Strays. So
Strays,
pretty nice. Well, yeah. Anything else for tonight, fellas?
I'll leave you with this interesting potential like movie / documentary. Obviously, it's a comedy drama, fictional, but it's narration wars, where we focus in on specific narrators that we know and love: David Attenborough, Liev Schreiber, Morgan Freeman, right? And then the day in the life of a narrator. And so they're always vying for the big gigs, and they go back and forth, and they have rivalries, and they talk shit to each other. And then they shit on all the other celebrities who try to narrate shit. It would be like it'd be a funny, like, rated R, PG-13 comedy drama type situation, dark comedy situation. Yeah.
That'd be good. What was the movie with Will Ferrell, actually, where someone is narrating his life?
Oh yeah.
That's the one where he's
Stranger Than Fiction.
Stranger Than Fiction. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I could see it working like that, where it's almost meta, but you're like, we're watching it as an audience, and normally the narrator would be saying the things that we should be thinking as an audience, but you're seeing it from like a narrator's perspective. And then also hearing Morgan Freeman being like, "Get out of the way, motherfucker," or something like that would be just...
Fuck you, Attenborough.
Yeah. Something like that would be so good.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'm on board with that. Hey, you should pitch it. There's no writers who are pitching anything right now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Okay.
Scab.
Get it done.
Scab.
Get it done.
Nice. Well, right on. I love that. That'd be good, man. I like it. I think that's a pretty sweet idea. So...
yeah, we're idea machines over here.
That's right. So, all right, next week we have Ahsoka is back. I can't remember if there's any other movies that are dropping next week. I'm sure there is. But, yeah, I think until next time, I'm just going to say it. Unless you guys have anything else to say, I'm just going to say it.
We can try and say it all together
no
as
more,
a three-way.
No more unison. That's so bad. All right. Oh, last thing, if you haven't... We just did an interview with Art, Edwin, and Dave Law for the Comic Book Comic. You go back and listen to that episode because it's going to be great. And thanks for sticking with us.
Sticking with us.
Yeah.
Nailed it,
guys.
Nailed it.
Oh, dude.
Never again.
Dude, we got to do that every time going forward.
Yep.
The Joystick Show.
If you've enjoyed what you've been listening to, we'd really appreciate a follow, subscribe, and a review. Just how we like chatting with our friends, please share this with yours. Feel free to join the squad and follow us at JoyStickShow, Joystick Show on Twitter and Instagram, or anywhere you listen to podcasts. And if you feel like submitting topics or questions to be discussed on future episodes, you can email us at joystick.show@gmail.com. As always, thank you, peace out, and make it a great rest of your week.